Hello, and welcome to the Don't Tell This podcast, a sports betting podcast that was the only account to not win on Thursday night. I'm your host, Al Manarino. With me is my co-host and defeated gambler. It's Mr. Ben Murkison. What's up, dude?
Did you poll everybody? You know that we're the only ones that didn't win?
It seems like it, just based on all the accounts
It did
that
seem like
we
that.
follow.
It
It was not great.
I did spend about 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the game just sending you accounts that I follow on Twitter that like hit these amazing bets. It's like, look, $10 to win like $5,000. That's cool. I follow that account.
Yeah.
I could have put that in. There's another one for 500. It was a lot of misery.
We couldn't win $5 last night, and we're going to talk about it. We'll quickly go over Thursday night and our loss. But my biggest problem was I just didn't pay attention to what I had bet, and that is a great suggestion for anyone who's betting. Like, I've said it on this podcast before. Try not to include the same leg in all your parlays. I did that yesterday. I included Darnell Washington, who I was really hyped on. He had a touchdown and 2 receiving yards yesterday because he went backwards and then dropped a pass, which would have won me some money last night. He was in everything that I had, and I talked about Higgins I really liked. I talked about Noah Fant I really liked in the podcast. Totally forgot to bet on them, and that's why we are here, winless. So going into our actual recap, we had I was about to say DraftKings. We had on DraftKings our slip. We had DK Metcalf for a touchdown and over his receiving yards, and we had Jamar Chase over his receiving yards and a touchdown. First time we've ever had 2 touchdowns in a parlay. It really looked good at the half, but DK failed to hit his prop, even though Rodgers had 4 touchdown passes. He didn't throw it to his number one guy. He did. He tried. 2 interceptions in DK's way, and then also the Hail Mary at the end, which would have been a pretty incredible way to win that bet if possible. And then Jamar Chase had a very calm, normal game, right?
Yeah. I mean, Jamar Chase, since Flacco's come in there, we can confidently bet him again. I mean, he was the part that made us feel very confident because he got his touchdown in the first half. So we figured, well, surely DK is going to get another, whatever he needed, like 20 yards and then a touchdown since he gets one every game. Yeah, I will say
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' arm still one of the strongest in the NFL because that throw, he didn't even like crow hop into it. He just freaking launched that thing. And for all accounts and purposes, like it had a chance. And DK was the guy in the front. I was like, man, just jump up and get that somehow. But we didn't have that was tough. And we also we also bet our own lines on top of it. If you follow like the Twitter account, we kind of both came in with our own parlays, both of which obviously failed. I will just throw it out there. I'm going to go ahead and eat my words because I know this is one that I felt very confident about. I was confident that Chase Brown would finish under his rushing line, under 46.5. He did not. I think at some point during the last episode's discussion, Al said, like, what if this is the game where he just comes out there and has like 100 yards? And I laughed. He had 11 carries for 108 yards.
Man, I should have alt-lined it. I should have bet it on the spot right there.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been smart. Definitely fade me. I mean, in fairness, he only had 11 carries. Samaje Perine had 7. He had a 37-yard run, which pretty much sealed my fate. Because prior to that, like he was just dinking around, and I was like, "Yep, this is game script. This is exactly what's going to happen." But once he broke that long one, and they had one other decent sized run, the rest of them were business as usual. But that's all it took to sink my bet. So my fault. My fault. The one Thursday night football game, I decided to throw in an under, and it's just a ton of offense with a couple of geriatric quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected the Icy Hot Bowl to be this exciting and this electric. The Bengals seem to be like rejuvenated as a franchise just because now they have a somewhat competent person behind center. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to actually bet their receiving props because I think all of the receivers outside of maybe Chase Brown went over their yardage. So yeah, Flacco, just keep slinging it and we'll keep betting. Hopefully we can actually put some together next time they play next week. But yeah, let's jump into the slew of parlays that we're going to put together now. I saw a decent amount of lines that I liked and excited to go through them with you. You want to start with the 1 p.m. parlay?
I could start with the 1 p.m. parlay. We are going to include, I have one London Jags bet for the 9:30 game that's coming in.
Fantastic.
I was going to stay away from this one altogether, to be fair, and I kind of skipped it and then ended up circling back. I'm playing the London Jags game, but I'm not going with the actual London Jags. I am taking the Rams. I'm going to take Devontae Adams over 77.5 receiving yards.
Wow.
Reason being, obviously, no Puka Nacua. Who is Stafford gonna target 15 times a game in this?
Tutu Atwell.
I will lose my shit. Adams should be that guy by all accounts and purposes. He's had 11 targets and 9 targets in the last 2 weeks. He didn't have a ton of success in terms of yards, with those targets the last week against the Ravens, but that was like a game that they were handily winning. But I would expect him to show off in his first official game as Matthew Stafford's number 1 wide receiver. So, yeah, give me Devontae.
And where did you find that line? Was that Bet365?
I was all over the place, but yeah, I think either DK or Bet365. So if you're not seeing it popping up on DK, it was definitely 365.
Okay. All right. I will start building that out on Bet3. Oh, no, I found it on DK. Great. What was the line? Because I found it at 83.5.
Shit. You know, when I was looking at it this morning, they had not officially ruled Puka out. That might have been the jump up to 83. While you're talking about your next line, I'll look at 365 and see if it was any lower there.
Yeah, I had another line from this game. I hate betting these London games though. We've had zero success with these London
But,
games.
let's just do that thing where we lose the 930 leg and like, well, let's just run it back with the new one, and then we
We'll
lose
run it
more
back.
money. Yeah, yeah. It's fun.
Exactly. I liked Brian Thomas Jr. over 66.5 receiving yards. No real reasoning behind it outside of I think he's starting to wake up a little bit and be the guy that we saw last season. He's definitely being targeted like he's that guy. And yeah, I feel like they're starting to put that offense together a little more and, with Travis Hunter more in the mix and everything. So yeah, I kind of like BTJ over 66.5. I just can't even speak. I
It
hate the London games so much.
Yeah, so I did look, 365 still has it at 77.5, so if we decide to go with that leg, then, yeah, we can look at maybe building it out there. I agree with you in terms of I would see Brian Thomas Jr. kind of coming to life a little bit more, and it does help that Travis Hunter is also, starting to get more in the mix at offense. I've seen a lot of accounts like that I follow just from a fantasy perspective is trying to recommend that you buy low right now on Travis Hunter, thinking he's become more and more involved in that offense. So could go either way, but some interesting lines. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. The 930 games are a little dicey. Kind of that thing where we have that itch and we just want to scratch it as fast as possible. So I always it's nice to have somebody to kind of root for in that first game, but it could be a tough one.
Yeah. What's your next one?
My next one is the guy that hopefully you're able to find a drop for because it is Mr. Kayshawn Booty 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 Rocket Everywhere. Over 33.5 receiving yards. He is now averaging 50.2 on the season after he had a 5-catch, 93-yard performance last week. I think his normal production is probably somewhere closer to 3 catches, 35 yards, somewhere in that range. But Stephon Diggs is still limited in practice. Officially, he's questionable, but I don't think he's going to miss this game. But I do think the fact that he is kind of dealing with a nagging injury lends itself more to Drake May trusting Booty again based on the success of last week, though. So as long as his line's still comfortably in that low 30s range, I love continuing to come back to him.
Yeah, I had him on my list. I knew you were gonna say it anyway, so I am totally on board with that. My next one is I'm going to the Carolina game, Panthers. I'm going McMillan. I'm gonna ride the McMillan train as long as possible. He is probably one of the most electrifying wide receivers in this rookie class, if not the guy. 52.5. He's been kind of slaying this number. They keep him around it. He's going against Check's Notes, the worst team in the NFL with the Jets.
Facts,
They're
facts.
oh they're 0-6. Yeah, I'm gonna keep betting this line until the wheels fall off.
Hopefully the wheels are not falling off this week. What was his
Yes.
over again?
52.5.
52.5. Still kind of low. I know that I looked at him and for some reason I pivoted off. I'm not sure if it's just kind of the inconsistencies about what they do, but yeah, he's an electric player. What did he have like last week? I know he had a good number of yards. I think he scored right early, but I feel like he only had maybe 2 catches, 3 catches.
Yeah, he didn't have a good yardage, but he had 2 touchdowns.
That would be the reason.
Yeah, but the 4 what is it? How many weeks prior? Let's see. He went 68, 100, 48, 62, 73. He had 5 targets for 3 receptions last week in a win against the Cowboys, including 2 touchdowns. So he is a red zone threat as well. And those were his first touchdowns. So he got his first touchdown and then got
Then
another one.
immediately, once the floodgate opened, you just keep coming back to it. Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely exciting player. Another exciting player, just asked Chris Collinsworth, Mr. Patrick Mahomes, because nobody does anything like Patrick Mahomes does. He's just
Correct.
absolutely electric in every way possible. Did you see the way he threw that incompletion? Did you see the way that ran
No one does it
he
like
ran for
Patrick
1 yard
Mahomes.
instead of getting sacks? Like, that was crazy. But I will be relying on those legs of his and his escapability. Over 26.5 rushing yards. He's averaging 37 on the season. Outside of those 2 back-to-back games where he just didn't run, like, at all, did not attempt it, he's gone well over that line. I think with Rashee Rice back, defenses are gonna be playing, a little further off the line of scrimmage in certain spots, afraid of letting Rashee Rice get behind them. So that should open up some more opportunities for Patrick to run, if those holes are there. I mean, not a lot of quarterbacks have run on the Raiders, but we did have Marcus Mariota had 40, Herbert had 31. So if it's part of kind of what that quarterback does at their core, then, there's been some success and some evidence that they can be run on. So Mahomes has been good to us usually when we bet his rushing line. So I'm going to rely on him here at just 26.5. Mahomes has been good for us in the past. We've gone with his rushing line. So I'm going to go back to him here when it's just 26.5.
Yeah, I like the reasoning. I obviously like betting on Mahomes. My thought process going into this game is it's the first game back for Rashi Rice, right? Worthy didn't have the best game last week, so I was like, maybe with Rice out there, Worthy will get some more traction. I also think now that they have all of their wide receiver weapons, this will like open up the run game. So I was thinking like, let's just hit the Worthy rushing yards again, or even Pacheco, who saw like I think his best number and like since before his injury last week. I think he had like 50 rushing yards. So there's a lot of ways to play this game. I do like the Mahomes angle, but I'd rather bet Worthy when the line becomes available for whatever reason, it's not available yet.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason that he's not in my four because it wasn't there. I
Yeah.
We'll talk about another guy later that I like in a very similar type position, a wide receiver for a rushing line.
I wonder who it is.
I don't know, man. Could be anybody.
Could
Uh,
be anybody.
Could be anybody. But yeah, I do agree. Worthy's a good one to kind of look at once that line becomes available. I still am more of a fan of Kareem Hunt than I am Isaiah Pacheco, but yeah, I mean you're right. They both kind of are getting about equal carries. It's really a 50-50 split in that backfield, and Pacheco did have 51 yards last week against the Lions, so they could go with the hot hand a little bit more. But yeah, so we'll see what becomes of it. For my last line, I am very torn and confused. I don't want to, but I'm looking at the Dolphins and the Browns game. It's going to be played in Miami. I don't, why would anybody look at this game? It's going to be played in Miami, and apparently, depending on which weather report you're looking at, there could be wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour in this one. So my initial line was that I wanted to take Jalen Waddle because he's on that tear right now, and his line is just 57.5. And I was like, how the hell is his line only 57.5? He's averaging 65 on the year, and he just had 2 straight weeks with 6 catches and almost 100 yards in each game. So yeah, the only reason I can figure why his line is just 57.5 is because of the weather. So you could play it one of two ways. You could either take it now while it's super low and then hope that the weather clears up a little bit and the sun shines and he ends up with another 100-yard day and easily smashes. Or if you don't trust it, and you really think the winds are gonna be this shitty, you kinda look at other options. You could take a running back line like Devon Achane, perhaps. In this game, you could take Quinshot Judkins. I would think I would feel more confident maybe taking, Devon Achane's receiving line so they could still throw the ball a little bit and not just be doing the ground and pound, kinda try to get him in some space, but anything that involves the ball leaving the quarterback's hand with any measure of distance at a 50-mile-per-hour wind is suspect at best. So this line is tough to look at right now as we're recording on a Friday to try to figure out what the weather report's going to be. So one to watch, but interesting line on Waddle at least.
We could do the smart thing and just avoid the entire game completely.
It's probably the prudent thing to do.
Yeah.
Might go through and yeah. I might go through
What
and
were you gonna
take
say?
Waddle just because I'm gonna hope that the weather like improves drastically, but yeah, we'll see.
Judkins' line is approaching 100.
That's
It's
the
at, like,
problem.
96.5. It's bananas.
Both lines for running backs are higher than they normally would be, and I think that's strongly because they realize that it's gonna come on the ground. Everything is gonna be running, so I would think Jopkins is probably gonna get close to, if not over 20, carries this game.
Yeah. I have 2 lines from the same game, so I'm just gonna just say them
It's
both.
not the Dolphins-Browns game?
It is not. I'm, again,
Crazy.
avoiding that game. Avoiding that game completely. It's actually the Eagles-Vikings game, also known as the Carson Wentz revenge
Oh,
game.
boy.
I like 2 lines from this. One, the 2 narratives are Wentz's revenge and the Eagles can't throw the ball. So I like both of these narratives. I like Jordan Addison over 42.5. I think that is a solid number. He is their T. Higgins. I think he kind of just like always hovers around that anyway. So I feel like that's a good number to hit with Jefferson being 81.5. He could have another Chase style game or Jefferson style game where he just goes off, but I like Addison's at 42.5. And then I also like Dallas Goedert, whose numbers already climbed since I first looked at this. It was 38.5. It's already 42.5 on DraftKings. He's just been solid so far the whole season. If they're going to throw the ball, at some point this season, it's going to go to him. It's not going to go to their 2 elite wide receivers that they have because apparently they just don't care about throwing the ball anymore.
No, and that's fine by me. Yeah, I do I think I especially like the Addison line. I was looking at how to go through and play it. Do you have it up right now to, like, see what his receptions number was by chance? If it
I
was
can look it up.
if it happened to be 3.5, then I'd love that. If it's more, then no.
It is 3.5 and it's plus money, plus 107. I like that
I
too.
mean, the 2 games that he's played, he's had 4 catches and 5 catches.
Mhm.
I like the Carson Wentz revenge angle. I thought you were gonna do something crazy like me and take, like, an overpassing number for Wentz, but apparently
Nah,
you stayed away from that one, but,
no.
um, yeah, Addison is especially intriguing. Nothing against Goddard, but I think Addison is intriguing for me,
Mhm.
and I could play it either way. If you wanna stick with the yards, you're right, I mean, he's got such a small sample size this year, they're kinda just getting him back involved in the offense,
Yeah.
and if the Eagles do try to take away Justin Jefferson, which many teams try, nobody really does, then yeah, Addison should get some work, but he should get some work anyway.
So what do you like the most? Unless you have anything else to add.
I'm hesitant to say it because every time I think we say something we're most confident in, then it like fails us. But I like Kayshon Boutte still.
His line already jumped. BT dubs.
Of course it did. If it's below 40, still love it. But I wonder if that has anything to do with Diggs. I haven't seen like any practice report on Diggs yet today.
They took both Diggs and Booty off of DraftKings, so I'm
Okay.
gonna
Yeah,
go
so there
look
must
on
be
Bet.
something to that injury. I thought Diggs was like for sure gonna practice full maybe and get a play. But yeah, Fridays are the day really when it kind of comes down. So a lot of these lines are kind of always gonna jump all over the places. They're getting that final full practice in. But either way, I think if it
31.5
oh,
on
yeah,
Bet365.
all right,
I love that.
let's bet 365, and let's take Booty as our first line at 31.5.
Alright. What else you like?
I does Bet365 by chance have the Xavier Worthy rushing line already?
I looked. I
No.
looked. He's available, but there's no numbers.
Yeah.
Like they're going to
I
have
mean,
it
he's obviously gonna
eventually.
play. They're just like, "We don't know what to do with this yet." I
Yeah,
wonder if they're
it's
deciding to
it's
take
very
him from
annoying.
5 yards to 6 yards. They can't decide what number to put him at.
Mhm.
Um,
They're like, "He keeps hitting the same number."
yeah. I mean, Bet365, I know had the Devontae Adams line at 77.5. I know you're not a huge fan.
It's not that I'm not a huge fan of it. It's I don't know. Is that offense the same without Puka?
I mean, no, there's Puka is that offense in many respects.
Correct.
I wanted to pivot off of it entirely and maybe take Kyren Williams, but I feel like his rushing line, I think, was in the 80s, and it was a little high for what I wanted to do.
Any thoughts on Tutu? He's at like 38 or something last time I checked.
38 or something. I mean, Tutu, I missed like kind of how he performed last week. I know every other time that I've kind of looked at him, he's usually like the guy that gets 2 catches. One of them is for 80-yard touchdown or something. But
Yep.
uh, did that trend kind
Yeah,
of
I don't know what he
continue
did this
last
week.
week?
I don't believe so.
If we saw him get more targets like the second half once Puka was out, then I would feel better. But I also feel like the game script in that was just trying to kind of escape with the Ravens. So Tutu did not have a catch last week.
Oh, that's good. Who'd they throw to?
Tyler Higbee had 4 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. Devontae
I had
Adams had
Higby like week 1 and he didn't do anything.
Yeah, Devontae Adams had 4 catches for 39. Like, they didn't really do much, passing the ball or running the ball, honestly. They drug that game out to a 17-3 win. There wasn't a whole lot of offense happening. Um, yeah, I don't. I would say I would take a Kyrie Williams touchdown, but that probably won't have any juice to it.
Wasn't even one of our lines.
I know. I'm just kind of talking about. All right, well, let's move off of that game.
All right, I'll say one.
Okay,
I like the McMillan line.
okay, yeah. All right, let's do McMillan and let's do Jordan Addison.
Okay. You know who I'm surprised you didn't mention? Oh, because you used the booty line. I was gonna say you didn't mention your tight end from Tennessee.
You know what, Chig? I didn't. I should have gone back to Chig. He did me well last week. What are we looking at with Chig? I wonder. I'm sure his line's still like in the 20s, and he had a great one. If you're
I
plugging
never
in,
understand the discrepancies between the two, like the different books, right? So like you get a great line for someone on Bet365, and then it's another guy's 2 yards higher on the same app. It's so
yeah,
weird.
especially I think it usually balances out by the time we get to like Saturday, Sunday, but especially on Friday, like the early lines on some of these are drastically different.
Mhm.
The over is maybe he's not there. Okay, yeah, he's there. Okay. I'm gonna because you mentioned him, and I think that's a smart play. And I know we said that we shouldn't throw somebody in last minute because Al says, "Hey, what about this guy?" Because it screwed us that
That
one
you know
time.
what? You're right. I think we should just completely disregard
But
him.
no, no, no. But you said it, and Chig, 29 and a half, and he's coming off of 48 and
Ugh.
46. Just throwing it out
Okay,
there.
but aren't the Patriots very good, like, defensively?
Define very good. Yeah, I don't know what they do specifically against tight ends, which
The
would be
Titans are terrible.
they are, which means that Cam Ward still can't really progress past like his first read, and then he trying to throws it to whoever's closest to him,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Also, Chig, like, only got that at the end in, like, garbage time.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm just saying, like,
Just
I'm
saying.
talking myself out of it after I told
Shouldn't talk
you
me
to do
into
it.
it, talk yourself out of it,
That's right.
especially when it's a guy that already hit. All right, so
You're welcome.
we like Booty, we like McMillan,
Yeah, I got Booty and
we like
McMillan, and then you were
Addison
talking Addison receptions.
or yards. Obviously, his yard total was only in the 40s, right? So
Yeah.
I'm still I that's probably safe. I think we've been burned on receptions a couple times recently.
Well, he's had 2 games, 114 yards and 41. His line is 42.5.
So split the middle. He should have 65. Okay, for a fourth line, then, if we're pivoting back off of Chig, and we don't want to touch the Dolphins Browns game, and we don't like Devontae Adams over 77.5, do we like Patrick Mahomes going over 26.5 rushing yards?
Is that our favorite line of that game?
Outside of Xavier Worthy over rushing, which we don't have in front of us yet, and we could officially wait and then just play it where we have the Xavier Worthy line for rushing if we like that the
That's
best.
also fair. I'm just double checking. Wait, dude, it's 1.5.
Xavier Worthy 1.5 rushing?
It's one and a
Is that
half.
attempts?
It's rushing
Okay, lock
yards.
that in right now and hit the smash
I'm
button.
locking it in.
Yeah, yeah, play that.
All right. Okay. So we have McMillan over 54.5 receiving yards, Kayshon Boutte over 32.5 receiving yards, Jordan Addison over 42.5 receiving yards, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, Xavier Worthy over 1.5 rushing yards.
Okay, and you currently hit the bet, right? Like, you can go ahead and lock that one in?
I'm about to.
Okay.
Plus 1152 on Bet365.
Yeah, I'll put the next one in, but, yeah, since if you got it up there right now, go ahead and pay that one out so we can, yeah, we can lock that in before they come to their senses and realize they meant to put, like, 11.5 or something.
Yeah. All right. You want to move on to 4 p.m.?
Yeah, let's move on to 4. I'm gonna probably take one of your lines right off the top, and save you while you're putting it in. So Giants-Broncos game, I love me some Jackson Dart over 38.5 yards rushing. 38.5 yards rushing for Jackson Dart right now at this point, I think is an insult, to him and what he can do on the ground.
Yeah.
54, 55, 58 the last 3 weeks. He's averaging double-digit rushing attempts in every game. Uh, I'll say from looking at it, I think the line is only as low as it is because the Broncos haven't really given up anything to quarterbacks on the ground yet. Justin Fields had the most. I think he had 7 rushes for 31 yards is the highest. But Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert both didn't do anything on the ground against that defense. But I do feel like Dart is a different type of quarterback and a different animal altogether. He's gonna bring the juice and bring the excitement. I think he's gonna continue to run. I don't see him going away from that. So yeah, anything that's shy of let's say like 45 for him, maybe even 50, honestly, at this point for Dart, I think is a line that you want to look at. So yeah, Jackson Dart over 38.5.
37.5 on DraftKings. It seems like an auto play at the moment, right? I was also looking at Scadaboo
Hmm.
rushing and kind of still contemplating it because again, we went with his receiving last week. That didn't hit, but we are very depleted at wide receiver. Our top, I think, receiver was like little Jordan Humphrey, who I was also looking at, by the way. His line was only 30.5 receiving yards. So there is a bunch of Giants ones that I was like contemplating. Maybe I'll do a same game with that. But yes, that is definite on the dart for sure.
Definite on the
All right.
Dart.
Definite on the dart. My next pick is Mr. Lad McConkey over 59.5 receiving
I
yards.
also have the lad. Look at us go.
Lad's back. Lad's back, baby. And the only reason Lad's back is because they are desperate. QJ is out. Quentin Johnson, he is, well, I don't know
I
if he's
think he's going to
officially
play this
out.
week. He was out last week, obviously, which freed up
He was
Lad a
out
lot.
last week.
He's been practicing, I think, in a limited capacity, but I think the last thing that I saw was it's looking like he's going to play. And I feel like there's lines for him available right now.
All right, I'm checking now, but I have him in fantasy. So, oh yeah, so his line is available. I still like the QJ line. I mean, this is going to be such a weird thing to say, but the Chargers Colts game is going to be like probably the best game
It's pretty
of
fun.
this slate.
Pretty fun.
It's going to be really fun. You got Lad, you got QJ, you got Keenan Allen. These are all people we've been betting on all week or all season so far. And of course, Tyler Warren, who we are scared to bet because his line is literally like right at like the cusp of like the thing. It's literally like his
I wrote
average.
his name down and then I deleted it slowly with regret.
Yeah, like I was even, maybe like first quarter over or first half over for him because, you never know what's going to happen. But at least this game, I think this is like the first challenging game for the Colts, like that they're not making challenging for themselves, like hardest adversary that they've probably played so far is the Chargers. So yeah, I do like Lad though a lot. He seemed like he was in like his original form last week. And I will say, last time I heard, is Joe Alt playing?
That's a good question. I know he's been like,
Because that can change things up.
he's been trending like he was going to play, but he had not been active as of yet. So, yeah, I mean, that could open things up a lot, both in giving more time for the passing game and opening up some rushing lines. But yeah, I mean, I would just say like for Lad too, like my my statement was also the Lad is back, 7 catches for 100 yards against the Dolphins. He had already kind of I talked about him a little bit, I think the week prior because he teased, that he was coming back into the fold of being available for that offense against the Commanders. Where he had 5 catches, they weren't for very many yards, but then, he goes out and gets his opportunity to be, the wide receiver one again. Because I mean, really, in reality, he came into this season and he was drafted to be, like in fantasy purposes, like the wide receiver one for this offense. QJ kind
Yeah,
of just came out of
I
nowhere.
drafted him.
Yeah, QJ just came out of nowhere. Like I think I shit on him week one, basically
Mhm.
talking about how like Lat McConkey needed to have a great season because QJ can't do anything consistently. Then he's just played well beyond expectations. So that sort of took a back seat, but I
Yeah.
think that they're gonna need him, like you said, against the Colts. This is gonna be a fun game. He's playing out of the slot position, obviously, and my boy Zay Jones, East Carolina product, just had 79 yards off of 5 catches, also from the slot for the Cardinals. Love me some Zay Jones, but Lad McConkey, he is not. So I could see Lad doing very well in this game, also.
Yeah. Johnston on that team really has kind of been like what Jameson Williams was to the Lions last year. Like, just like, oh, you want the explosive play? Like, here's a 60-yard catch for a touchdown. Like, what we were expecting to see from JMO this
It'd be
season
really
is what
cool if we could
Quit.
get some of that.
I know. I know because you have him in like every
Yeah,
league, right?
for the most part. I was very high on him.
I know. All right. So I do. Yeah. All right. Cool. We both like
We both
the
like
lad.
Lad, like the Lad. Okay, so you thought maybe that you knew which wide receiver rushing line I was going to offer up, and I don't think it's the same guy that you were thinking.
It's. I don't think
I'm
so.
looking at the Packers and Cardinals game, and I'm looking at myself some Matthew Golden over 5.5 yards rushing.
What?
We've had a ton of success riding Xavier Worthy to get over that 5 yards line with his one attempt per game. What if I told you that Matthew Golden is averaging not one, but 2 attempts per game? And it's been right there for us the entire season. 15 yards, 9 yards, 5 yards, 16 yards on the ground the last 4 games. Yeah, he's getting 2 chances. That's double what Xavier's getting opportunity-wise, and the line's still just 5.5. So Matthew Golden is somebody that I don't know why it took this long to kinda jump on him. I think we've played him a few times, as a wide receiver, but I mean, the one thing I can't get behind you when we take running backs for receiving lines, but I'm definitely with you when we take wide receivers for rushing lines. So I love Golden in this spot.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I like that. I had no idea. And I have him in fantasy too. I just never checked his like stat line. I just see like
That's where that extra
12 points.
1.3
Good
points
job.
has been coming from for
Yeah,
you every
exactly.
week.
Yeah. So all right, cool. Yeah, throw it in there. I don't see it at DraftKings. So if you want to build that out on Bet365, I'm totally okay
Give it
with
a
that.
shot.
Yeah. Great. Great line. Let's see what else that I liked. I liked for my next pick. So we haven't mentioned this game yet. I'm sorry, I got to do this to you.
No, don't
Yeah.
talk about the
It's the
Cowboys in a
command.
positive way.
I know I don't want to talk about him in a positive way, but I don't know if you heard the news, but CD Lamb's back.
I might have heard something about that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the obvious pick of George Pickens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why?
He
That
has
makes a lot of
been
sense, man.
this is like a career year for him, man. Obviously, he had to step up in CD's absence. I don't see his usage going away. I think Dak has not quietly, ESPN is pretty all about it, but, like, he's been having an MVP level season, like, statistically at least. Um, a lot of that has to do with the emergence of George Pickens, which is kinda hilarious because the Steelers just lost to the Bengals and Joe Flacco last night, and they probably coulda used some more wide receivers.
Yeah, Pickens is gonna
So,
get paid quite handsomely following the season.
yeah. Yeah, that is definitely gonna happen. So, yeah, I like this. I think CD is also gonna do really well, but
Is that because you've seen the Commanders secondary in action?
yeah.
Yep. This game
Yeah, this is that's why I didn't wanna do it to you.
well, no, I would do it to myself. This game features 2 of the worst secondaries in the National Football League and 2 very
I know.
capable quarterbacks. My only concern is that I just saw officially that Terry McLaurin is ruled out once again, which is just freaking terrible, and Deebo Samuel is very much still dealing with that heel injury, like, that completely took him out of the game script really, against the Bears. He had every single week had been going off in Terry's absence, but, like, last week, we couldn't do anything with him either, so I he might play, but if he does, he's gonna be very, very hampered, I think, still. He needs some time to just stay off of that thing. So we're we're looking at, Luke McCaffrey kind of being like wide receiver 1, Chris Moore being wide receiver 1, like, in this game again. That being said, still, I think that the Cowboys secondary is bad enough where you saw, guys like Justin Fields kinda tear them up that I think on both sides of it, there's gonna be a lot of passing yards. Leads me to my next player prop. Despite not having Terry and probably a very hindered Deebo Samuel at best, Jaden Daniels, I'm gonna smash like his passing yard totals. He did fail me last week, but I failed to look at the weather report and see that it was gonna be raining the entire game, which didn't help things, even though he threw a couple darts. But 227 and a half passing yards against the Dallas secondary needs to be something that he gets done quite easily. Honestly, he should throw for closer to 300, I think, than he would if he had wide receiver 1, 2, or 3 available to him. He's coming off of a game where he was responsible for 2 turnovers, 1, like a bad interception, and then 2, the second fumble. Definitely, he took ownership of that one. He never had a handle on it. He lost that game basically for them, and he's on full tilt right now. And Commanders fans, I would say we're not in a position right now where the sky is falling, we're panicking, but if we do lose to the Cowboys, then absolutely. This is a game you absolutely have to win. He has eclipsed 227 and a half yards passing in 2 out of his 4 starts against better secondaries than this one. I mentioned Justin Fields, threw for 283. Jordan Love had 337. Caleb Williams had 298. Russell Wilson, remember that guy? He had 450 yards passing against the secondary.
That did go into
Yeah,
overtime.
it
We'll
did go
just
into
throw that
overtime,
out
to be
there.
fair. He probably had like 385 before that.
Oh, and so did Jordan Love.
Yeah.
That's the
That
tie.
was the one
That's the
before.
tie game.
Jordan Love 337. Either way, the game's going to be a shootout. I expect it to go well over the 54 and a half total that they have for the points. And the Cowboys are also not very good against the run, as we saw case in point against the Panthers last week. So Bill Krosky could also have kind of a revenge game after, trying to make up for his mistakes last week. So that's another way you could play it, but I'm expecting, honestly, 300 yards through the air. So give me Jaden over 227 and a half.
I am not seeing a lot of over under lines. I'm seeing like alt receiving lines and alt rushing lines. Oh, I finally see the receiving lines. Okay, so George Pickens is 59.5. You can take it at 60 at plus money. I kind of like that at on Bet365. And also you were saying 227. It's actually down to 223.5 on Bet365.
No Terry
The
McLaurin,
Jade line.
deduct 5 yards from the total. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, is there anything else from the 4 p.m.s that you want to discuss? I had a couple other little ones.
Well, you
They're
just
more
gotta
like dart
sprinkle some other
throws.
guys out there. I don't have anybody else to sprinkle. I think I sprinkled in my
Yeah.
extra would have been the bonus of Bill Krosky potentially as well.
There's a sneaky one with Alex Pierce at over 36.5. He's like pretty consistent. I know he hasn't he like just came back from injury, but I think he like immediately hit his line last week and you know, Indiana Jones is slinging it, unfortunately. For me as a Giants fan, he is doing really well. I said that game's going to be pretty exciting. And then also Evan Ingram over 26.5. I thought that was kind of low.
Yeah.
Kind of like made sense.
Uh, I like those. As you also mentioned, yeah, they did just drop. I think because they efficient ruled Terry out, so they do have all the receiver lines available. So I am going to throw another guy out there. I've
Uh-oh.
been throwing his name out, but Luke McCaffrey is potentially like our best receiving option. He's hit a couple of deep balls, but they're setting his line right now just 21.5. He's had 56, 21, 50, and 33 the last 4 games. Like I said, Debo's not 100% healthy. Luke probably only really gets targeted maybe 3 or 4 times, but 1 or 2 of those is usually for plus 20. So yeah, I would feel comfortable with him as well if we wanted to throw another guy in there. But that's just somebody to sprinkle. I would stay away from
Surprised.
Debo at 54.5 because unless he's just
Yeah.
magically healed, I don't see how he's going to run a lot of routes like that.
I'm surprised he didn't go McNichols over 11.5. He hit 12 and 30 last 2 games.
I did,
And
but
as you said, you don't have any receivers, so
yeah,
JD might be throwing it to his running backs.
that's true. And Krosky's got the same line at 11.5. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we just don't really know what we do with our running backs too much.
No. You don't know which running back to start. You had, the rookie of the week, and then you're like, "We shouldn't play him the next week."
We moved on from that. We're trying to commit to Bill, but yeah, McNichols still gets some action there.
Bill, Bill,
Bill,
Bill.
Bill. All right, so what do we like the best so far? I've got a three-legger in right now with Lad McConkey over 61.5, Matthew Golden over 5.5 rushing, and then I did love the Jaden Daniels at just the 223.5. So we have another guy that we want the most. Do you like the George Pickens line the most?
Your secondary's terrible, but so is theirs, so I feel like you have to make this decision because it's the Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah, George Pickens over 58.5. I mean, even yeah, like you said, even with CD back, even with CD playing, he was getting 68, 68 before CD was out.
134,
And
57,
then when CD was out,
168.
134. Yeah. So yeah, secondary is bad.
Yeah.
The only team that the secondaries performed well against all season was the Chargers after they got, down early in that game. They kind of shut them out the rest of the way. But I think this,
Mhm,
like I said, is going to be an absolute shootout. So give me Jaden over passing and give me George Pickens over receiving from that game.
mhm.
So if we
So
put
make
that
your pick.
together, if you want to bet this one, we're looking at $20 to win 236.90. Yeah, it's a plus 1084.
So specific.
It is very specific.
Yeah. Alright, so you wanna go through that one more time? What's our 4 picks
Yep. So we
for
got Jane Daniels over 223.5 passing, George Pickens over 58.5 receiving, Lad McConkey over 61.5 receiving, and Matthew Golden over 5.5 rushing. So that's the 4-leg parlay, 1084, $20 to win 236.90.
lock it in.
It is bet.
Alright, so Sunday night football.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, someday.
Can I
We
can
have
I just get my first line out of the way in this one?
I wonder what it is.
Who's playing in this game?
What could it
Who's
be?
playing in this game, Al?
Is it the Falcons and the 49ers?
It's the Falcons and the 49ers. Now, who you think I'm gonna say, now that I saw your excitement, might not even be who I'm gonna say. I'm saying Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson. Am I taking his rushing line now? No.
No.
Am I taking his receiving line now?
Also, no.
Yes and no at the same time. I'm taking them both together. 121.5 rushing receiving yards. Look, his line went up
Mm.
from last week, and for good reason. 121.5 would seem like a lot of yards unless you consider the fact that Bijan is averaging 164.4 per game. He has had 124, 168, 181, and then 238 total yards last week. The one game that he didn't go over, he had 111 in a 30 to nothing loss to the Panthers, which is just like an anomaly that I think you can throw out right off the top. Uh, so could you safely play his rushing line or his receiving line on their own? Probably, but I say why choose? Take the best out of both worlds. The 49ers' entire roster, offense and defense, is on injured reserve anyway. So I think Bijan Robinson is a very, very safe play.
I wanna say I like it. I don't.
Just say it
I
then.
hate it
Say it. Move your
because
mouth.
I hate
Move your mouth.
I hate 121 yards. That sucks.
He had 238 last week. 238.
Yeah, but he can have 120 yards and have an amazing game, and we still lose the bet.
But how many times has he gone under 120 yards?
Never?
One time I said, you're not listening. 111,
I'm
but it was
not.
30 to nothing loss to the Panthers, so we're throwing that out.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Thank you. That's
I
all I wanted to hear you say.
but I also like his receiving
Of
line
course you do.
because it's good.
You could talk about his
120
receiving
and a
line.
half on his receiving line's great. It is, I think the last time I checked, it was 38 and a half. 38 and a half. Just let me tell you the last 5 weeks. We have 125, 39, 106, 68.
There's two numbers in there that were fairly low, but I bet on
Yeah,
both
but
of those days he had like 100 yards rushing.
probably.
So if you bring them both together,
So, I didn't think you were gonna go Bijan, by the way. I thought you were gonna go Drake London
well,
as like a
he's on my list also.
great. Alright, so, I mean, I feel like we could just build this out right now. We like Drake London over 75 and a
We
half
do.
receiving lines.
Because we pivoted off him last week and it fucked us over.
Correct.
Let's go back to him. Michael Penix Jr. has discovered how to unlock Drake London, so we're good
Correct. But I am not seeing a receiving line
for
for
CMC.
the automatic play
Yeah,
of CMC,
that's
and this is concerning.
that's a problem. That's a problem.
It's a problem
I
because how do we build this parlay without CMC?
don't think that we can actively bet it yet
No,
until we get
but
CMC.
we could say it out loud. We could just say whatever the number
Whatever his
is,
number
we're
is,
betting it.
it's going to be CMC over receiving. My only thought is like they're waiting to finalize like which 49ers receivers are going to be out because it's pretty much everybody. I think
It's all of them.
their only healthy wide receivers right now are Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson. That's it. They're the only ones that are practicing in full.
Again, where's the Kendrick Bourne line?
Yeah, I think that they don't want to put any lines out until they 100%
Yeah.
rule that. Well, they need to know like which quarterback's going to play. It looks more and more like it's probably still going to be Mac Jones,
Yep.
and then they want to see like if Ricky Pearsall is officially out, which I think he will be. But there is one other exciting person on that offense that's coming back,
Kittle?
George Kittle. George
His
Kittle.
line is 53 and a half.
If he had been playing every week, he would be smashing 53.5. Unfortunately, he was not. But he is part of a future bet for me to get 1,000 yards receiving. So his road to redemption of coming back for that begins this week.
So you need him to get 500.
That would help. That would help.
On
I mean,
Sunday night.
look, Tongus Pongus has been a fun, little thing to kind of play around and follow and have him win us some money. But George Kittle is an elite tight end. If you ask him, he's being activated off of IR officially on Saturday. So if for some reason that did not happen, then obviously Tongus Pongus would be a guy that we could continue to look at. But Kittle's going to play in this one. And just as a reference, because I wanted to kind of see, like, is 53.5 like on par with what he should be getting? You would have to go back to last season to really put anything from, like a numbers wise to kind of follow. But he went over 53.5 in 11 out of 13 games that he finished last year. So
Great.
I know it's his first game back, and sometimes you're a little iffy, but it's also Mr. Rashid Rice's first game back.
We did bet him.
I know we didn't bet him. Okay, that's a bad reference.
Horrible reference. We didn't bet CD
thought about
either
it.
because we were smart.
That's true. We're not betting anybody.
Sometimes.
All three of those
Sometimes.
guys are going to go crazy, and we're not going to
I'm
bet
doing a
anyone.
lot. I'm gonna do an alt bet with them just
We'll
hammering
do a
their
parlay with
lines.
everybody that's playing their first game, like since week 1.
100 yards alt.
Yeah.
We can't build this out, which sucks because there's a lot of lines that really discuss that aren't available.
I do have one other. Do you have anybody else to talk about?
No, because everyone that I want to talk about
Because
is
you just
not
don't have
here
CMC
outside
and it
of
makes you sad?
no, CMC and Bourne, like 2 guys
Yeah,
that I'd,
true.
like, legitimately love betting on.
The only other line that I have, which I know we're not gonna put in there, but it's probably gonna be my, like, first last touchdown bet or something like that that they do. Tyler Algier, anytime touchdown. He is a touchdown vulture from Bijan. He's got a touchdown in 3 out of 5 games, including 1 in each of the last 2. Because Bijan's, like, so involved in that offense and he's gonna get us, like, 150 yards combined, he has to get a few, few carries off. So Algier's been coming in there. He's getting at least 10 carries per game. And a lot of those tend to be after Bijan's just ripped off like a 50-yarder to get to like the 10. And then he goes in and just takes
He's
the
that meme of
touchdown.
the guy like this
Yes, I can't wait.
when Bijan gets us into the red zone.
Exactly. So like I was looking like if I was gonna play an anytime touchdown in this game, his line's plus 210 for an anytime touchdown, compared to like minus 160 for Bijan or even like minus 200 for CMC, which
Mhm.
would never, make sense. So yeah, just another line that I thought was fun that I'll end up putting in something. It's probably too risky to try to throw in our parlay, but
We should build out, like, a 4-leg TD parlay
because we're
and throw it out there.
because we're sick
Just,
and
like,
tired of
4
seeing all these
just
other
4
random ass accounts, like,
yeah,
oh, I bet
just 4
$10 won
random
eight
dudes.
grand.
4 random dudes, like Algier, McMillan,
Well,
Pickens,
that's not
and
even random. That's not even random enough. You need like a backup tight end, a fullback. like
Tongas Pongas.
yeah.
Tongas Pongas when Kittle's
He just
back in.
became a backup tight end this week. So yeah, that might
There
be
you
the
go.
time to take him.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So with this, you can hear that we like a lot of stuff, but we don't have official lines out for a lot of the stuff that we were going to talk about. So with that being said, you can find on our social channels at Don't Tail This on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the 1 and 4 o'clock bets that we've already put in. You can find the Sunday night football bet, which we have not discussed on here. We've said some things, but we don't actually have any official lines yet. We're waiting. That will be out as soon as we have lines. And then we are also not including Monday night. There's 2 games again, and a lot of the lines aren't available, so we are going to include those also on our social channels, probably closer to Sunday. You'll see those slips officially on our channel, so make sure you're following those 2 channels. Ben, anything else to say about those 3 games?
There will be no Jameer Gibbs over receiving for the first Monday Night Football game.
We'll talk about it.
And we'll be playing JSN no matter what in the second Monday Night Football game.
JSN and yeah, maybe Monty over receiving. We'll see. All right.
I got a bunch of guys I like, but we can talk about it off air. But yeah.
We will. Well, thank you so much for listening. As a reminder, follow the channels for the slips. Email us, don'ttailthis@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns. Let us know if you won. Let us know if you faded us. If you've created a fade Don't Tail This account. Literally, we put it in the title.
Yeah.
Just don't tail us. You don't have to make a fake account. But for myself, for Ben, thank you so much for listening. And remember,
Don't tail this.
Don't Tail This is produced by Al Manarino and Ben Berkeson. Edited by Al Manarino. Theme song by Lucas Jones. Follow Don't Tail This on Instagram and Twitter at Don't Tail This. We are committed to responsible gaming. Please visit www.rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. And always bet responsibly, which of course means don't tail this.